Recording in progress.
Yeah, first, Dr. Stacy, thanks for having me. Great to be here. Always a pleasure to get an opportunity to speak with you. So thank you. I would say that I started from humble beginnings by taking apart my father's tools and my mother's appliances. So I was a very disruptive child growing up. I wanted to know how everything worked. So I would sneak down into our basement and take apart, the electric drill, and we had an induction heater. I remember taking that apart and the springs kind of flying everywhere. So it just started with this thirst for knowledge, and I would go down into our study, and I would sit in a chair, and I would grab books that were off the shelf. I would read the encyclopedia from front to back, and just want to know, how do things work. And so I started to, from a very young age, I just started getting ideas and started to experiment. And I found that I loved it. It was just so fascinating to me, and I couldn't get enough of it.
Wow, that is amazing. And most kids don't do that as a child. Maybe tear things apart and don't put them back together, but then to figure out how to put things back together, that's amazing. So did you have a mentor growing up that taught you this, or that you looked up to in that department of inventing?
Yeah, when I was about 13 years old or so, I joined a prayer group that was in my town, and I've been a Christian in my entire life, and a spiritualist, and I'm interested in learning about God and having a relationship with God. So I joined a prayer group, and the fellow that ran the group, his name was Vince Valancourt. He was a chemical engineer, and he had many patents. I think it was over 100 patents, and he had developed different medical devices in his career. And most of his time was spent with Johnson and Johnson. So I became friends with him, and because he was considerably older, he was really like a father figure to me. And yeah, he definitely taught me a lot about the process of inventing. And then eventually, when I went to college, I got a degree in computer science and management. And about halfway through, I realized that I did not want to be a computer programmer, that I wanted to be in research. So when I got out of college the first time, I went to Mr. Valancourt, and I asked him for a job, and he gave me a job at his company, and I got to work on designing medical devices as my first real job. So that was really fun.
Wow, and where did that take you? Medical devices are kind of, controversial today, maybe, possibly, or maybe not. There are so many life-saving things. So what path did that take you initially in your career?
Yeah, well, that was actually kind of interesting. The type of devices that we were working on were things like IV line sets, nasogastric tubes, and one of the projects I remember I really liked was we looked at coating some of the IV line sets with different types of metals like gold and silver and copper, looking for their antibacterial effects. So if a nurse, for example, didn't wipe down a line with alcohol and bacteria got into the line, these metals would kill off the bacteria. So that was, more or less cutting edge back in the 80s when I was involved with it. And then, after doing that for a year, I went back to college to get a degree in biology, and I convinced the chairman of the biology department, William Ventura, to give me a research lab so I could do research in neuroblastomas. So I got a grant and got a donation from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and started working with mice on looking at subcutaneously injecting TBJ and C1300 neuroblastomas to look at the differences in immunogenic versus non-immunogenic effects. And that actually led to looking at how to use voltage to manipulate the membrane potential to selectively kill off cancer cells. So it got me thinking about energy medicine, and ultimately that helped me later with LifeWave.
And that was going to be my next question. So how did you come up with the idea to invent your first patch, which was energy enhancer with LifeWave? How did that happen? What was that process?
Yeah, so there were a lot of years that went into this. Fortunately, when I was about 11 or 12 years old, I had horrific allergies. And I went on medications for maybe about 6 months a year. And I was, drowsy all the time, and I felt terrible. And I thought there has to be something else that can get rid of these allergies. So I just started reading everything I could about nutrition. My mother was a gourmet Italian cook and was always putting herbs in things. And, she used to tell me about some Italian remedies. So I thought, oh, there has to be some type of herb or something. And eventually I did find natural remedies that work for myself. And I've been free of allergies for, over 40 years now. But this accumulation of knowledge into natural therapies took me into some very interesting places. So when I was in my 20s, I was building Rife devices, I was building plasma tubes, and looking at different energy medicine techniques. So when the time came in the 90s, I was working with a small group, and we were developing new types of survival equipment and power generation systems for the Navy. And I happened to develop a new type of oxygen generation system that they considered impossible. It shouldn't have done what it did. And so I got approached by one of the nuclear engineers at General Dynamics Electric Boat, and he invited me into this mini sub program for Navy SEALs. And he said, just take a look at this and, see if you can make a contribution. And the thing that really struck me was that this crew was going to go on missions that were 30, 60 hours long, and they were relying on caffeine and amphetamines to stay awake. And, given my interest in natural health, I thought, this could be an area where we could find a solution that was natural and would do a more effective job. So it took several years, but I came up with the concept of the energy patches.
Okay. Wow. So from a young age, because of what you went through, that brought you along the path to where this seemed like a perfect next fit.
Yes, it was definitely a progression. I can't say it was something that really happened overnight. Even the realization of the patches occurred because of an engine that we were developing. We were developing a new type of turbine that had a vortex flow. And I was driving home one day from work, and I was driving around Lake Lanier in Georgia. And I remember that the idea, downloaded into my head that there must be a vortex flow in the cells, and we could use that as a communications channel. So that was really the genesis of LifeWave.
Wow. So I would love for you to explain how this technology works. And knowing that we have people that are going to be listening to this that have never heard of LifeWave before, this is going to be their first exposure hearing. And then of course we have, everyone in between, all the way to we have doctors and practitioners that actually utilize light therapies in their practice or are very familiar with photobiomodulation. So how could you explain this technology to that wide range of people and yet be able to help them all understand what it is and how it works?
Sure. So the patches are a new form of low-level light therapy. They do, in fact, induce photobiomodulation, but they do it a little bit differently than an active device. So the patches, of course, contain organic materials. They're stereoisomers of amino acids and sugars and other materials and water-based solutions. And they're processed in a way so that when they're applied to the body, they're activated by the infrared body heat, and they'll start to reflect very specific wavelengths of light. So for those practitioners that already use light therapy, this would be a blend of different wavelengths of light. And the light is modulated to contain information. So this is very much like in laser communications, we might use a CO2 laser as an example, back in the day. And then like you would have with radio, you could frequency modulate the radio wave so it contain information. So you get site-to-site communication. So with the patches, it's very similar. We use a blend of different wavelengths of light, and those wavelengths are modulated to contain information. So when they stimulate the skin, they'll turn on a specific process. So with X39, it's going to upregulate mitochondrial function to improve energy output and turn on receptors associated with GHK-Cu. So we get an increase in copper peptide. And of course, that's measurable in the blood.
Right. And speaking of measurable, you have clinical studies. You've done many clinical studies over the years, over the last 20 plus years, correct?
Many, over 80 at this point. So I love the research process, and current FDA standards are that you need one double-blind placebo-controlled study that you can make claims about your product and to support those claims. But the reason why we have so many is that when we do research, we learn more about what these products are doing, what effects they're having, and that allows us to not only expand our claims, but also develop other products as well. So we'll do traditional blood, urine, saliva testing. We do a lot of different types of bioelectrical tests. We'll do medical infrared imaging, and all of these different types of analytical equipment give us a different view as to what's happening inside the body when you apply the patches.
Okay. And so all the different studies show different things, and there are many. So if you had to pick, what would be your top 3 studies that you think are of most significance or relevance, or showed maybe the most that someone could go, because you have so many. And so if you're saying, hey, go check out our website, lifewave.com, you can find our clinical studies, what would be your top 3 picks?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I would have to say, on a personal level, my favorite studies are always the first ones that we do with a new product where we can say, okay, Eureka, the product does what it was designed to do. That is an incredible moment when you get your data back and it says, okay, this really does work. It's also a relief, because if you spend a few years, designing something and it doesn't work, it's a real bummer to see a study not turn out. So fortunately, we haven't really had any of those things. But yeah, I would say on X39, because it's our biggest product, it's about 50% of our sales. The blood studies that we've done, which are on our website, those were incredibly rewarding. We spent 10 years and over $4 million doing stem cell research. We accumulated over 70 patents.
We'll be going live soon, guys.
And so when we got the results back on X39 on the blood study, were validated that we were seeing statistically significant increases in GHK. That was really incredible. I'd say another one that was incredibly rewarding was one that we did with Dr. Pierre Volkmann at General de Santé Hospital in Lyon, France. So I gave a presentation in front of a panel of medical doctors, and the French tend to be a little skeptical. I don't know if it's just their doctors, but that's what I've noticed. So when we gave our presentation, they said, well, that's interesting, but it doesn't really work. So I said, well, could I apply the patches to people in your hospital? And they started to bring me patients. And in about an hour period of time, they brought me 32 people, and I got 32 out of 32 people out of pain. They then said, okay, this obviously is not a placebo. There must be something to this. So we went ahead and we did a clinical study with 75 people. I think we had either 93 or 96% of the people got pain relief in that study. So, so that was incredibly rewarding because Dr. Volkman is considered to be like the #1 expert on pain management in France. So to get the opportunity to do that study with him was pretty incredible.
And that's correct? That was Ice Wave?
Yeah, that was Ice Wave.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And then there is a study I can't tell you too much about because we just did it recently. It was a 20-person pilot study. And I may talk about this at convention in October. I'm not really sure yet. But this is a new technology that I've developed. It's not the patches. It's something that's designed to complement stem cell activity in the body. So it's like a perfect complement to X39. And we found that within 15 seconds of using this product, that was the average response time in 20 out of 20 people. Within 15 seconds, we were seeing very dramatic effects within the body. And we recorded that with interstitial scanning, with a physio suite that had HRV. We also had a infrared camera set up so we could see how light emission
right.
in the body changed, which it did. And
That guy is in the room.
Blood analysis and urine analysis.
We're not talking
Urine
about David
analysis
either, I
was incredible.
promise.
Well, we got
Okay. Hi, everybody. On the camera here. All right. My mouth is on fire. My wife made a spicy it's a vegan chicken, but my gosh. Whew. Anyway, I need a fire extinguisher. Hang on. My nose, well, you know, my nose is running so bad from the spice that it probably put the fire out in itself. So if I drink a lot of tea, you guys know why. I can't deal with spice. But it was good. I wouldn't stop chewing it. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Ron. Hi, Donna. Hi, Denise. Hi, Larry. Hi, Martha. Let's see. Heather, Kim, and of course, Eliza. I hope I get that right. By the way, I'm probably related to Eliza's husband. She doesn't know that yet. So I think their family's from New York as well. I have to say it like this. My sister's father, I'll say it like that. My sister's father is a Cummings. That's when people say, oh, Steve's a Cummings. Well, I was adopted by my sister's father. So that's how I got the name Cummings, but it is her father. So kind of weird. Anyway. And then I went back to my natural birth father's name. That's how I got Banoon. And my wife calls me Baboon, but you know, that's okay. I got some really good information for you guys, and Yana may be in and out. Just to kind of let you guys know what's going on with her right now. The autopsy results on her dad finally have gone public, so to speak. And I'm sure you guys already saw that from what I spoke about it on one of the videos recently, but that's really weighing heavy on her. It's good and bad because it's just a lot to take in. And so she's having a hard time. I guess the best way to put it is everything that she knew that was true ended up being confirmed in the autopsy, which you guys already know it is a homicide, and the pathologist is he doesn't put the charges, he just simply puts it to the medical examiners in both states, Florida and in Tennessee. That's already been done. And then from there, they take up the case for homicide, and then they will determine how these things pan out. So it's kind of difficult for her. There's several things I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. And one, oh, make sure I'm yeah, we're recording. Good. Are you recording too, Elizabeth? You can do a thumbs up because I can't hear nothing, no way. I think I am recording though. Great. All right. Here's the thing. I came up with an amazing idea for you guys to be able to build business with LifeWave. Those of you that, I think everybody in here is wanting to do it as a business that's here right now anyway. And we may have some folks here that they're just more the preferred customer, and I want to be able to answer questions on that. So I got some ideas on how to do that. I've seen several emails and on questions. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically take those questions and those emails. I'm going to talk about that tonight. But what I'm going to share with you is what you, for yourself, and for those people that you bring on board, anybody in your group that you have, we should share this information with. I have banned all of our upline from this meeting here. Just kidding. So, but I guess it is kind of like cheating, right? It's like, I think it's a great idea, and I'm sure somebody else has already come up with this as well. But I really feel like it'll be very successful for everyone that decides to do this. Now I'm planning on creating this myself, but you are able to create this on your own, or maybe I can make it. And if you want some of these props that I'm going to put together myself, we'll just do it at whatever the cost is, and I would send it to you. But what I'm thinking about is we got with spring coming up, there's spring festivals that are going on. There's always flea markets that are happening in your area, things like that. And my thought is this, and I get this idea because my aunts, they both have done this all their lives. They do it as a hobby, as flea markets. They also have an antique shop that they do, but they like to travel and go to these places, and they'll set up booths, and then something, they come back to their own antique shop and do these things. But my thought is to create, I think it's four poster boards, like a regular poster board that you could set up on a table on a stand. One would be for X39. It would kind of be like, let me, while I've got you guys here, let me see if I can't, you cannot minimize Zoom. Okay, I can't minimize Zoom. All right, maybe I can do, I know what I can do. I can go and give me 1 second. I'm going to find it inside a LifeWave here. And then I can share the screen, and that way I could show you guys what I'm thinking about. My thought is that with flea markets, with spring festivals, in fact, Lee Holt, I talked to him about it today. And when I did, I said to Lee, he told me, he said, you know, why not? He said he's got a spring festival coming up very soon in his area. All right. And so let me share the screen so you guys can see this as I go along here, because I might want to show you some more things as well. And so what the thought was is that I wanted to create a board for X39. Move you guys down to the bottom. Okay. And by the way, while we're looking at this screen, before I go into the boards, let me just share something with you. This is our son's screen right here. If you notice here on the right-hand side, where he's got his total RV and total LV, that's the volume that he has in the downline, that's the spillover that's coming up underneath him. Now, he's actually under John Moore. He signed up through John Moore. But John Moore has created him 25,000 in his right volume of his leg there. And Ethan on his own has created almost 400 in his left side of his leg there. Now, if you went up here, this is why, what do you want all that 25,000 is like money sitting in a bank. So when you're doing this as a business and you've got a lot of volume on that right, if you've already got two managers, not two managers, but if you've already got two silvers or above on your right, two silvers and above on your left, then the thing that you really want to focus on then is your weak side. All right. If you've got good spillover, you want to focus on that weak side. So anyway, Catherine, I hope you guys made it in okay. I clicked on it. So hopefully you guys made it. It didn't drop you guys out. Anyway, so in this case here, Ethan's left side is his weak side. Now, I know he's going to be right, but if you go up here to your name and you clicked on it and you went to hit change settings, you would want to go down and make sure, and he's build left, which is exactly the way he needs to be, because what that's doing for him is it's helping him to balance out. Now, let me go to commissions. If you go to commissions, this is what you guys will learn about this here. In your commissions, as you scroll down, you have bonus cycles right there. You click on that. He's made $50 this week already, that's just from the volume that's in his downline. Now, the more he gets people in that left side, the larger those cycle bonuses become. And that's money that you make that you basically, for every person you put in, you make money from that, but it's from all that volume. So in other words, you're making money from what someone above you has created in your downline for you. And because he's got a large volume like that, there's a lot of money potential sitting there. This is what kind of gave me this idea about how to help you guys grow this as a business. And Catherine, I don't know if your husband made it in with you too, but hug his neck for me. But here's what I wanted to show you. Let me see if I go to resources though, because I want to be able to give you a visual on this. Let's see here. I don't know if it'd be under tutorials. New. And Ron, brother, I know you've kind of looked through some of this stuff. What I'm looking for is any kind of visualizations that you might remember. Here we go. This is a good idea for a visualization. Let's say, and let me just see what's in here. What I'm thinking about is like taking some of the, here we got X39, for example. I want to customize the board though. Let me try product training guide. Maybe that would work better. Hang on, let's see. English. Still don't see it on there. Oh gosh. You know what? I know what I can do. I know the best way to find it. Let me just type it in here. LifeWave X39. All right. And then I'm going to go to images. All right, there we go. That's perfect right there, right? Here's what I wanted to do is to take something like this here, create a board that you have on the table, but I'm going to create several boards. I want to do one for X39. All right, just like that there. But I want it to have it to stay across the top, and you can find them, stimulate your stem cells naturally. And see, when you're going to have it done with a print shop, you can add extra information in there. Okay. So I would do one for X39, but then I would want to do a board like this. I'd want to take and create one. Let's see. Dangers of EMF, radiation, and 5G. All right. Hit the images, and then I would find something like that. Probably one like this one right here. All right. 5 ways to protect yourself from electromagnetic radiation. I would get rid of that 5 ways, but I would have protect yourself from electromagnetic radiation, but have a board like this, get rid of the Dr. Axe thing. I can take and black all that out, but then put on here up underneath here, something like early studies with LifeWave have shown that X39 in combination with X49 potentially could create or make your body something about, you know, a Faraday cage in your body. You got to make it very, I'm going to make it very simple and to the point, very simple verbiage, to where when people come by and they see your table, they got that, they got this sign here. And then I would do another one, like for example, energy enhancer, LifeWave. Okay. And maybe the board is just like what that is there. LifeWave Connect Energy Enhancer. But what I would put on there is as well in the board that I want to create, I want to create the board to where I have to kind of black out part of what I'd want to do. But let's say Monster drinks, Red Bull, caffeine, you know, and you have like images on there and you put on there, kick the can or kick the habit, or save thousands on being able to get energy without stimulants and drugs, something like that. Because you do that one, and then also I'd want to do one more, and the other one is going to be um, dealing with dementia, uh, Parkinson's, um, and I know that there has been stem cells used in this therapy, not counting what we have here available to us. But like this right here, okay? Let's say if I took that particular image right there, but then what I do is I get rid of their junk that they have on there, and I put on there that, you know, incredible testimonies of people using the combination of, in fact, actually, excuse me, David Schmidt has case studies already from the carnosine patches that they actually have helped the cognitive function for people that are suffering with dementia. But we know that you need X39, X49, and carnosine. It's a trio that you really is beneficial for that. So my idea is to do this: take those different types of boards, and say, like I said, maybe doing 4 of those. One with stimulating your stem cells, one about electromagnetic radiation, one about energy enhancement, and then of course the other one when it comes to the cognitive function, you know, of the brain. And that we could even include strokes on there. Now the important thing is though, is I have to make sure that we don't have anything about healing or anything, but we talk about case studies, and we talk about how would I put it there? Besides the case studies, you know, also the testimonials. And then also if you're sitting at a table like that, if you have a way to be able to have a little monitor set up off to the side that you can run off of your cell phone to get the Wi-Fi, but use, you know, connect it to your cell phone, because I know that some excuse me, whether it be whether you're using a laptop or whatever, like my laptop, I can actually use my phone to run the Wi-Fi on it. And then you could actually have testimonials. You can maybe loop something on your computer to where either testimonials are playing, or maybe David Schmidt's speaking about one of the studies, things like that. And at the same time, to where people that are interested, you're able to enroll them into the program right there on the spot. Or if you're not able to enroll them on the spot like that, at least be able to get their name, their email address, their phone number, and to communicate with them. Now, I can tell you from experience, what's really helped me a lot is, like in this case here with these 4 different ideas, is going back and really, that spicy chicken is beating me to death. Anyway, when you go and you listen, David does all these amazing these interviews where he talks about the case studies, what was done, And as I listen to those, I really begin to take it in. I really begin to learn from what he says. And then all I do is I parrot what he says. Because we know what he says, if we parrot what David is saying, then we're not outside of the box. We're not doing anything that's not acceptable for the company, as long as we say what the information is that's out there. And so, but the other thing that I've thought about, especially in the case of the energy enhancer, I travel a lot naturally because back and forth to Florida, running my dad's mining business down there, uh, and trying to liquidate that, I'm constantly traveling now. And even before then, I travel all over the world. So, but when you're driving, you think about all these truckers out there. And so, no matter where you set up, if you're at a flea market or whatever, there's always people that are using stimulants nowadays. And so I thought to myself, let's take a look real quick to see what the cost of the energy enhancer is. I forget myself now, but let's see here. I don't think it's that. Oh, here we go. Store. There we go. All products. But and of course, this is $69.95. Excuse me. And I think that's retail price. I think it drops $10 if you're a preferred customer. No, but I didn't know that you could actually order it in bulk. So if you get 3 or more, it's $49.95, for example. And by the way, I don't know if you can do this or not, but I need to make sure about this before we were to do it. But let's say you did buy extra, let's say you bought some to actually sell there when you're at one of these events, if that's permittable by the company. I don't know the answer to that. If one of you guys happen to know that, please just chime in and let me know. But you could sell it at retail price to $69.95 to someone, or if you wanted to discount it, you could. But you could buy it in bulk to where you're saving a little bit of money. But let's say you're just trying to get the person to get started, and whether it be X39, X49, whatever the case may be, if you have some supplies there with you, and you could sell directly to them to where they could take it with them, that would really be great. I don't like doing that, but if that's the one way that it might help them get going, that would be wonderful. All right, but here's the thing. Let's say, for example, we'll use the middle price because I was thinking that's what preferred customers get that for, is $59.95. So $60. So it's basically $2 a day for those patches if you did it for 30 days. But the thing is, energy enhancer, if you remember, David Schmidt, when he developed this for the Navy SEALs, they're supposed to be able to wear this, or at least from my thought was, because he talked about being able to stay awake for 48 hours. I literally wear mine for 48 hours at a time. So technically, 1 month lasts me, or what they call a month supply will last me 2 months. So it's only $1 a day. And you're not using caffeine, you're not using energy drinks, a lot of sugar, things like that. And then on top of it, when you begin to do the case studies and see what David says about this, the energy enhancer does a lot more than just give you energy. Well, the way it gives you the energy, which you can explain to the people, is that the patch is using that infrared light, reflecting back in your body, and then it's burning your body fat in order to give you energy. So it doesn't put any drugs in your body. It actually probably help you lose weight. It's 500 calories a day that you'll burn extra just from the way that patch works. Without the stimulant, without the caffeine, without the jitters, and without that enormous cost. Because these guys that are drinking these Red Bulls and stuff, I don't know how much they cost a can because I don't drink them, but I know even a soda nowadays is what, $3 or something for a soda at a store. So I can only imagine a Red Bull or a Monster drink is probably $4 or $5 anyway. So they would save money. They wouldn't be risk having a heart attack from all this crazy stuff, or these little energy shots that you can get too, that they use a B vitamin in there, but it causes muscle spasms. So the more you could educate yourself on things like that, to know the risk and things that they're having by using these other items, and things like that. So when people are coming by and they're asking you about it, well, how does that work? The more you can educate those people there, on the products that you have and the natural side of these things like that, that's just going to bring someone in. Not to mention they may not get the part about the X39 at first. They may not get the part about that stimulate your stem cells and or aloe vera for skin, and or you could even do one for aloe vera, by the way, too. But maybe the energy enhancer is what brings them in. And so that's something I thought about, I mean, yes, X39 is the most important patch of all, but not everybody gets that part about the stem cells. Uh, then I've also noticed the other side. Like I said, if you're dealing with besides that one, if you have a sign up there on your table that's talking about Parkinson's and stimulating your stem cells to treat it naturally without the high cost, and that could be something we could add to the board as well. Typical stem cells for, like they're doing, like in this case, this company here, what does the cost really cost when they're doing that? Is it 5,000, 10,000 or whatever because of the way they're having to do that? Then you could do a comparison with that. So, you could actually stimulate your stem cells using photobiomodulation therapy that David Schmidt has invented for a fraction of the cost, and say the testimonies that we have gotten are phenomenal. And of course, us all being in the same group, these are people that are in the group that we're in. I mean, we literally in our group, we have 2 testimonies ourselves. Besides my Aunt Debbie, there was another sister that her sister up in Alaska had Parkinson's. And as we saw when she came in on that one testimony that time, after being on the patches for 7 weeks, the doctor removed all of her medications with the exception of pain medicine, but was able to cut the pain medicine down to only a third. So there's so many different ways that we could do this like this. And by, just educating people on safe, effective ways that are non-transdermal and dealing with these different things. Because, the other thing that made me think of this as well is that when I'm out somewhere in the public, especially when I see the older community, and knowing that I'm also leaning into that area now too, we're dealing with a lot of challenges because 60 and above, we don't make stem cells any longer in our body. And because we don't make stem cells, we didn't know this before, I guess, maybe some of us did, but I did not know that our bodies quit producing stem cells. I did not know that that's the reason why we age. And so, and why we begin to develop cognitive issues is because our body is not rejuvenating itself, so to speak. Whoever the nasty little devil was that decided to cut that part of our life short and make it to where, I mean, a lot of people, we look at the Bible and it says, 120 years or something like that, right? Or, we can't even get close to that a lot of times now. Everybody's, knocking off 70s and 80s, But the thing is we should be able to live a lot longer than that. and actually be in good health as well. I mean, think about it. I mean, we look at it from a biblical standpoint. You had Caleb, he comes out of Egypt at 80 years old, does the one wandering in the wilderness for that 40 years and comes into the land of Israel. And he said his strength had not even abated. Well, he must have had some stem cells working for him, and so, and then of course we could do one other board, and and that would be the one for aloe vera and even the aloe vera creams, uh, and well, I tell you what, if we could get, then we'd have to tell her though, and I don't know if we should tell her. I'm just kidding. So, but you take Shannon and Todd, not Todd now. Todd, it ain't helped him a bit in the world. But Shannon, on the other hand, if you've ever seen her before and after pictures, I was blown away. I just thought she looked young naturally, right? No, no, it was a major difference. And the same thing with Mia, Richard's wife, so that the thing is we have such amazing products. And I figure if there's a way to get it out there where you don't have to go to each individual, but total strangers that we would know, what better way than to do a market like that? And of course, if we can be in your area where you guys are at, and let's say, for example, like in the case of Lee told me he's got the spring festival coming up and he's over in Western Tennessee, you know, so I want to take and try to run out there with him and help him when that time comes, when he does that, you know, just to be able to do it. And another thing you might try is that, uh, for example, too, another thing you guys could do as well, let's say in your own team, you know, if you've already, when I say your own team, let's say you got 2 or 3 people already signed up and and you got 1 or 2 people in there that really want to do this as a business, but they're like, well, gosh, you know, it's so hard to get people in. Then you could say, well, look, how about we do this together? We could set up a booth and, you know, we'll take and we'll just, you know, I'll take half the people, you take half or whatever. And because the thing is as they grow, you're going to grow as well too. You know, you don't make the full commission like they would, but you still make a portion regardless. So helping your team members in your own organization is helping yourself in the long run regardless. And then it also helps you to deal with, you know, especially at a flea market, if you're sitting there and you've got a little bit of room, you know, and you're starting to talk to one, and another one's wanting to know about it, but yet you don't have time to talk to them because you're busy trying to explain to somebody that really has taken an interest in this. So whether if you had 1 of your team members or 2 of your team members, whatever you might have, uh, to help process the people, you know, or the first time you do it, let's say if it is a flea market and the first time you do it, you see you do get swamped with a lot of people, then you might need to bring more team members. Either that or educate all the kids and the family and have them all come out and help you. Whatever the case may be, I just think that it's an incredible way to be able to get people and to bring people in your organization. And then as they come on board, they can also begin to utilize and do the same thing that you're doing. So that's kind of my thought, my marketing strategy right now, that I'm thinking that could really help a lot of people. And, you know, so I'm gonna throw that back to you guys. And in the process of that, let me see real quick too. There was another thing I wanted to do here tonight. I thought Yana might jump in here in a little bit, but I know she's got a lot of distractions right now going on. The other thing too that I want to do is I want to take in some of the emails that I've gotten. I won't share the screen on that because I don't want to have anybody's emails shown there. Let me just see real quick. Because some people, they were asking questions and I thought this would be the perfect time to be able to answer some of the questions that I've been getting so that we have everything in one place there. Now, here's one of the questions. One person wrote me about adding them to the Facebook and the Zoom calls. Now, you guys already know this, but let's say you're going to be watching this video for the first time. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time is when we do our Zooms, and it's always the exact same website, www.x39hub.com. Facebook, if you're going to the Facebook page, those of you that will be watching the video here, it is on Facebook and it's /groups/Benoon X39. That's how simple it is for the Facebook page. I think the way I titled the page is Benoon X39, the Life Wave. But if you just typed in facebook.com/groups/Benoon X39, that takes you to our Facebook page. All right, now let's go to see what the next question would be. Let's see. I'm not sure what I need to do to make that. Okay. I had a question where someone was wanting, and I actually have had this question come up a couple of times this week already about reordering their X39 and how do they go about doing that. Now, I guess it depends on how the person ordered it the first time. But I will tell you this, though. I had a friend of mine that actually had signed up as a distributor. He signed up as a gold distributor and got his first order in. He never, though, set himself up on auto ship. Anytime you join in at whatever membership level you want to do it, when you're doing this as a distributor, it's always important to get your auto ship set up as soon as possible. You normally can do it right there when you're doing the sign up, when you're doing your initial enrollment, because it's not going to bill you until that next 30 days anyway. But some people, especially if they go as high as Diamond, they get so many patches in, they really don't need to have any auto ship for 3 months. If you go in as a Diamond, the company does allow you not to have to do the auto enrollment until at the end of that 90 days or the first 3 months. I think it would be smarter though to set it up, even if you did do it for the 90 days, didn't have it, because you can set the date of when auto ship begins. And the reason why I say that to go ahead and do it is because if you don't, when you go past the expiration date, now I think that's only for Diamond that they give you that. Anybody else, I think it's only 30 days, is you've got 30 days, or I'd say 29 days to be able to make sure you're on auto ship. Otherwise, what happens is if you have spillover, like what I was showing you with Ethan, he's got like 25,000 in his right leg. If he wasn't on auto ship after that certain period of time, normally 30 days, they flush all of the volume that he had created there. And he has to start all over again. And that's like cash gone, you know? And so that's why it's important always, and anyone that comes on that wants to be it, and this is only distributor now, it doesn't apply to someone that's a preferred customer. Is it's just you don't want to lose your volume. You know, that's the important thing. You don't want to lose that volume. So I think in Tim's case, I think he actually lost his volume, and he had enormous volume, like 30 or 40,000 in volume. But you know, he wasn't really worried about it, but nonetheless, you know, I mean, that could have been a great benefit for him down the road. So it's basically he starts over at that. Now, let's see, the other thing is, okay, so they wanted to order the X39, another 30-day supply. This person, no doubt, did not do it as a preferred customer. They must have only done it as a retail customer. So in a case like that, what I would suggest is that they go back in to the website where they initially ordered at, which in this case here, they were ordering directly from us. So what Elizabeth would need to do, that's her name, is she would need to go back to our website, and she could either reorder as she could either reorder as a retail customer, or the best thing would be is to go ahead and become a preferred customer and get on auto ship, because that way there she's automatically going to get it. She doesn't have to worry about it. So that's what I will end up letting Elizabeth know, is go back into the website, and what I'll do, well, you guys already know how that, well, I'll share it with people so people can see it. So we'll do the share screen on that. Let me first get over to the right screen, and okay, we go to back to home page, and then right now I'll share the screen so we guys can see it. And I'm doing this because what I want to do is let the people know. Denise, I'll come right to you, sister. I didn't see your hand up originally. I apologize. So, so what they would do is I would just send them, you want to send them back to your website. In this case here, if it was my website, it'd be lifewave.com/Benoon. And then, so, like that. And then what the person would do is when you want to go to do it, you just go back to shop. You click on shop. And as they go back into shopping on there, let's say you want to do X39, and then, or maybe they want to do a bundle or something like that. Once you click on that product there, that's where you have the option there to either go for the retail or save, subscribe, and save. And all you do to do that, so you can't click on that. I really wish they'd make it where you can click on it, subscribe, and save. But when you add to the cart, that's when you'll go through the process of, okay, I want to become a preferred customer. So, and then you would go through the steps of that and it added to the cart, but okay, there we go. You go to the cart. And then, so we would come to that. Okay, there we go. See right there, when you go to the cart, become a preferred customer, then click on that. And then that's going to give you that right there. Now there is a PC Plus program that people could do. And that's people like, for example, maybe they're on Social Security. They don't want to really do it as a business because they don't want to, they're concerned about, is this going to hurt my benefits that I receive? And so some people have actually chosen the PC Plus because what it does, it allows them, rather than getting income, if they refer someone to the company, they get points, and that helps them to cover the cost of their products. So that's another option too that a person can do. But otherwise, they would go in here as a preferred customer and it'd set it up on auto ship for them, and then that's how they would do that. So, all right. So let me go back to Sister Denise. Go ahead, sis.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
What you're talking about tonight is very interesting in terms of growing the business, because I just had a conversation with my son yesterday, who is also my gold partner, about
Yes.
setting up tables or booths in an area where people frequent and get some the flyers. And I think the back office might have a poster that you can send to a printer and have it blown up. So he has suggested maybe going to like a Whole Foods area where people are very health conscious anyway, and they don't mind spending, $30 for, chocolate
Yes.
cheese. So we just had that conversation yesterday. So I'm glad that, you gave this idea, and that just adds to what we were thinking about. So the Spirit of the Lord,
Amen.
I think, is working to help us grow this business.
Excellent. Excellent. And yes, see, and that's great because your son's in it with you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and that would give you the right person there with you to be able to field the questions.
Mhm.
And like I said, the best thing we can do, and if you visit, and I'll show you guys real quick this here too. So let me jump back over to the Facebook page. Um, and the good thing about the Facebook page that we do, let's see, where is it at? Here we go, is that the most of the things that I put on our Facebook page, oh, sorry, wrong one. That's my regular page. Here we go. Is I'm always putting on those different case studies and things like that. Now, this one here I just added the other day about or this morning, I think actually, I put this post in here about NAD because the energy enhancer patch stimulates or causes at the cellular level, according to David Schmidt, causes our body to manufacture NAD. And so what I did is I wanted people to understand what NAD was. So I put that in there. So when you click on the link, now you can learn about NAD IV therapy benefits. These people, and I've done this before because of cognitive issues that I was dealing with initially. In fact, I don't have the cognitive issues any longer once I started using carnosine 3 days a week. That has majorly changed for me, the cognitive issue. And of course, I'm using the energy enhancer, which is causing my body to manufacture NAD at a cellular level. David Schmidt talks about that in one of the case studies that he does on the energy enhancer about what all it actually does. So when I went in there, this is what I found out, that it increases energy and endurance, anti-aging effects, addiction treatment. And I didn't know that NAD in high doses can help people get off of heroin. And it's been used for that for a long time now. Treatment for neurodegenerative diseases. This is some of the things that NAD does. And so then when you go in here, and then let's say, for example, you go down to, let's see, where did I put it at? X39 and Eon. Look at that young fella right there. Now see, the what do you call that patch? That Alavita. He looks young because Ron puts them all over his head. I'm just kidding. So, Brother Ron, if you guys have not heard Ron's testimony, that's one you need to play at these different places you go. Amazing testimony. His mom, 91 years old as well, and the doctor scratching his head. What did you do? Because it reversed. He had kidney failure stage 4. After several months of use, he goes back to the doctor. Now he's at stage 2 and dropping, congestive heart failure. That's no more of an issue, and had a leaky valve so bad in his heart, the doctor didn't know if he was going to make it. And now he's doing great. So when you think that nothing's going on, there's always something happening, always. But anyway, and then my aunt's, this one on the right, Charlotte, she's a little cut up right there. But anyway, somewhere on here, though, I have the case study about Lisa's husband had a beautiful testimony too. Glutathione. But if you go in there, you'll find the different, and you can always look them up too. David Schmidt, Energy Enhancer, David Schmidt, X39. Always just put his name in YouTube and add those different keywords, and then really listen to it several times. And then that way, when you're out there speaking publicly to people, you'll just have it in your mind. You'll remember what he said. And that'll really help. We got somebody wanting to join. Let's get them approved right now. There we go. So that's the advantage of going to the Facebook page there. I do not like Facebook myself personally, but for the purpose of being able to share information, it is a good platform for that right there. So anyway, all right, and if anybody has a question, go ahead and jump in. I'm going to continue to go through some of these questions that people had in the
Brother
emails.
Steve,
Yes, sir, Brother Ron.
this chart that Dr. Can made up is really helpful too, telling what each patch helps.
Let me look at what you got there, Brother Ron. Oh, wow. Okay. And is that something that's on our LifeWay back office?
It is on there. I found it on there. I'd have to look and see where it was at, but I got it. Dr. Can on YouTube. There's a video she put out and she put it at the bottom as well, but
Okay.
I didn't think about that. When you were talking about this, I just happened to think that showed what it did for each one, what was the best patch to use and things like that.
Oh,
It
that's
still has
amazing.
Nirvana on there, even though we don't have that now, but it was updated in 21 was the last time she updated. But all the rest of the information's good.
Okay, excellent. And that would be good, especially if you're out speaking somewhere publicly about it to people, because, naturally people are always going to ask, and of course we're not doctors, we can't diagnose or nothing like that, but they might ask the question, well, this is, like in the case of Parkinson's or any dementia related Alzheimer's, what would you recommend? And I would just simply at that point, I would say, well, from the testimonies that we have heard of people that have suffered with this is what they're using. I always would use that type of verbiage. That way we're not recommending it as some kind of medical professional. We do have medical professionals that are able to do that. But in this case here, like in my aunt's case, she uses X39, X49, and carnosine. Carnosine 3 days a week. And now the only reason she's doing the X49 though is because I was more concerned about her with heart as she's getting older. And I knew that the case study showed too that X49 in the early studies, they discovered that bone tissue would grow as well. So I thought about osteoporosis at her age now, and especially with her spinal issues. And but the carnosine and X39 are the two main ones. And Yana always, for people with the cognitive issues, always does 49 with it. Now, I don't know why, but I know she does. So I would just use that as, from the testimonies of what we've heard, this is what they do. Or in the case of what Brother Ron's got there, the chart where they recommend the different types of patches and stuff. Um, and of course, you may run into the issue, you might get into the challenge, well, gosh, that's gonna get expensive. I have to use this, gotta use that, etc. And to me, this is not a matter of trying to overcome obstacles. It's a matter of, you know that what you have is going to help. And I would just simply at that point there, I would share with them, say, I tell you what, you're right. I mean, it's, even if you say, if nothing else, if you can do nothing else, if I would do X39. Say, if for some reason, okay, you don't have the money to be able to go with the carnosine, at least use the X39 because that's going to get you going in the right direction. But also too, you can with the carnosine, always remind people you're only using it 3 days a week. So a month's supply is literally going to last you at least 2 months. It's not going to last you just 1 month. It'll last you 2 months because you're only using actually a little bit longer because it's only 3 days a week that you're supposed to use it. So think about that, and even if, and quite frankly, let's say it's somebody that's really, it is a very difficult budget that they're on. I would even recommend like on X39, say, look, if it's financially just that debilitating, wear X39 every other day or something in the beginning. Anything, just get your stem cells stimulated, get them going. I mean, now granted, you're going to have a greatest success if you can wear it daily, but if that's really, if the financial hardship is that difficult, try it like that, Martha, go ahead, sister. I don't, as high as your hand
Okay.
is, sister, it might be Larry's hand up and not yours.
Yeah, it's actually mine. He's listening, but it's me. Um, I do most of the talking here. What I wanted to say was having to do with marketing. Now, there's something that I think your idea is great, and we do have a flea market a mile away or half a mile away. I don't go there, especially in the summer, because it's not air conditioned and it's for
Well, the springtime might be the best then for you, Martha, then while it's still
an
not
idea
too
that could
hot.
work. What I'm doing to begin with, and I'll let you know how this works. I can't say that this works yet because I've only sponsored one person. Um, I don't want to mention any names or any products, but we're involved with another nutrition company, and they have a slogan: "Two is easy to do," and they grill that "two is easy to do," and this is how they explain that. They say start with your cell phone contact list. Those are the people that you know best. I also start with my email. Those are people that I know well, and reach out and find, two people and then help them find two people. And from there, the whole thing really grows. So my goal actually is to get 4 people going, 4 at least goals, and of course help them to find people. And I know that's what you're doing by having these Zoom meetings, and that's the idea too. With the nutrition company is Facebook and YouTube and Zoom meetings, anything to support the people you sponsor. And so I'll let you know how that works out with 2 is easy to do. Starting with I'm working on my cell phone contact list and my email contact list. And when I'm all out of those people, then I don't know, maybe I'll find somebody at the flea market that can post signs for me for $5 a week or something. We'll see. I'm just imagining. I'm just brainstorming.
Well,
Anyway, I'll also be wanting. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go
I
ahead,
was
Martha.
just going to say, I'm following what you do and see how every angle of marketing works. I'm open to anything. Thank you.
Amen. Well, I'll tell you another thing that I think is a good idea. You know how that you can go, you'll have in these different little community boards and people will have on there, like on a little flyer piece of paper, they'll have some information about whatever they're selling. Most times they're trying to give away their cats. All right. Print something out with lightweight,
Exactly. We
right? Stimulate your stem cells.
sorry, but we have 20 cats. We need to give some away.
There you go, right? So,
Go ahead.
but then you have your little tabs hanging down that's got your phone number on it, right? Or you have, however
Right.
you get contacted or whatever. but even try doing that and posting it. And see, I think one for not just the fact of it
Yeah, we
stimulating
have,
stem cells, but also these energy enhancers. So, energy without drugs, things like that.
yeah,
Because you never know what's
we
going to
have
help
one,
somebody come
we
in.
have, excuse me, we have one like that at our favorite hardware store. It has a zillion business cards on it, though. I think unless you had bright red or something, it would get lost with the
Right?
others, but it might be worth a try.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
homemade little flyers
yeah,
sometimes are the best. You just
exactly.
never know. You never
Yeah,
know.
so
So I
true.
think we just have to here's the thing.
Creative.
We want to get creative because right now LifeWave is the number one, and I would have never wanted to get into network marketing, but it is still the number one growing business in this industry in the world. And the reason why it's growing is not because of network marketing, it's because we have an amazing product. And it is transformed. I mean, every day I get a new testimony, every day. So, Donna, go ahead.
Um, I have not tried energy yet. Uh, do you feel the effects of that right away?
What it does, it's the most subtle effect you'll ever get. You're not going to feel, it's such a natural boost of energy that what it does is you put it on, and within a few minutes it's already working. But it's not like a stimulant where you do it and then you feel like you're going to just explode and run around the block 100,000 times. But it's just like suddenly you just realize you've got the energy now. And what caused me to start wearing it, I started having a lot of issues with energy. I didn't know what it was. And well, I shouldn't say I didn't know what it was. I know that something in the body is just wasn't balanced right, Sister Donna. It's like either I was low on iron or, I mean, I don't have the best diet in the world as it is, and of course the donuts just wouldn't work, and I have to hide those because my wife would beat me if she knew I had the donut, right? And then she'd tell me that's just a quick high and then you crash from the sugar and you're allergic to sugar and you shouldn't be eating that no way, right? So anyway, nothing would work. And the bad thing is I would take caffeine pills all the time. I mean, I drink tea a lot and I did start incorporating a lot of water in my diet finally. But I was taking caffeine, but I would still be so sleepy I was about to fall out of the chair. And I'm like, something has got to give. Well, we had gotten the energy enhancer when we did our upgrade initially, but we never used it, never tried it. And so I put it on, and first I watched the video with David Schmidt to see what he says about it, where to wear it at. And he shows you on the wrist, three fingers, you put three fingers on your wrist and you put the patch right behind the third finger on the brown one on the left, white one on the right wrist. I put it on. I didn't feel anything any different, but suddenly though, that tiredness was gone. And I'm like, wow. Well, then the next thing I did is I forgot about it that I had it on. I went to sleep that night. Now, the first time I ever did it, I couldn't sleep. But the second time I did it, I slept with it with no problem. But talking about dreaming, I'd almost got to where I didn't dream anymore. You wear those energy enhancers, you're gonna dream. It's gonna make you dream, you know. And as long as you have good dreams, go ahead, dream away. If you have bad dreams, I'd snatch them rascals off. So, but then David shows that let's say if you're going to compete in some type of athletic event, he showed where you can wear one set just below the knees, and that's four fingers that you'd put, and then put the patch right there below that, and then put them also on the wrist. He said then you will have an amazing amount of energy. Well, sure enough, I've done that as well. And again, it does, but it's not like you don't feel like any kind of, if I were to compare it to when people do narcotic drugs or something, they get the high feeling, right? You don't feel that, but you do notice you've got a lot of energy. And you feel, I guess the best way to put it is clarity. Your mind is clear. And because of the different things it does besides giving you energy, it's really helping you in a lot of areas there. And I literally, when I put them on, I don't take them off for 48 hours. I'll wear them for 2 days straight.
I was just thinking about doing, whether it's a flea market or some kind of little outing thing that everybody's showing things. Um, whatever patch works the best to get people feel it right away. And if a person could afford to have at least enough patches to give each person that came
Yeah,
around, to give them one patch. And then if they sign up, whether they're giving you the name and your number, their number and everything, so you can contact them and talk to them, then
yes.
you can give away a sleeve of patches or something. And you could add things to it. You know, it wouldn't all have to be live weight things to make it more embellished. And that could be a nice giveaway that you're not
That's a
spending
great
so much
idea.
on it. Yeah,
And you know, Donna, and I'll come back to you, Brother Ron, in just a second. But you actually, and maybe this is what you had in mind, but like, for example, one thing you could do when you're doing one of these gatherings like this is say that we're going to be giving away, and maybe I would use one that's less expensive for the giveaway, like Eon, for example. You know, say if what you do, if you want, so you can write down your name and your phone number, uh, and put it in the bowl here. And at the end of the day, we're going to do a drawing, and whoever wins will get a free pack of Eon patches. And say,
right,
and just and tell them straight up, say that what I'm doing this for is that, say if you don't win, we want to be able to reach back out to you as well. That could be another idea. But like
right,
you said too, if you're giving away single patches, say, look, I'll give you one sample of energy enhancers, say, but if I give it to you as a gift, the only thing that I'm asking is if you'll leave your name and phone number so I could follow up with you with a text to see if you liked it,
right,
you know, and you can have a one sample for free, just, so I have a way to contact you. So, cause I know you're going to like it. I ain't worried about that. You're going to like it,
right,
and then that way there you are creating a list of potential customers as well.
right.
So I think
And
that's an
everybody
awesome,
wins that way. They
yeah,
all get a patch and they all get to learn something, but someone is going to win a sleeve or whatever you're wanting to give away.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a
Um,
beautiful idea.
Also, I don't know what the form is called. It's on, this is it. But I've been watching the health and wellness that Renita Brandon is doing. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know them,
She's
no.
she's in Steve and Gina's line,
Okay.
but it's a Facebook site.
Right,
And
right.
uh there's all kinds of great information they pass around all the time. And whatever that form is and it has a whole bunch of things about signing up for X39. It's whatever you carry around with you to get people to sign up when you're out on the street.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yes, I know
talking
what you're
about?
talking about. Yes.
Okay. Well, they were talking about that form and they said that they would like it so much better if they could get it in a PDF so that you could put it on the computer. And somebody figured out how to do it. So I can send that to you later if
Oh,
you want me
yeah,
to. And then you can send it out to everybody or
right.
post it
That'd
there.
be great, because then you could take when you're wherever you're at, whatever public event, even if your church allowed you to, let's say they're going to do a special function or something, they would allow you to set up there, to share with people.
Oh yeah.
You know,
People do all kinds of things. Yeah.
yes,
And that
trade
form,
shows, anything.
yeah, yeah. Um, in fact, they say a lot of people just sign up on the street when they're doing that.
Yes. I like to, what I'll come right to you, Sister Lisa, but when Sister Darnell mentioned that part about, getting permission from Whole Foods to set up outside of there, that she's right, because people that go to Whole Foods, they care about things that are not gonna harm the body, and we have an organic, non-transdermal, approach. It's amazing, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Elisa,
I just would like one of those forms. In the
okay,
PDF, that would be awesome, because I've seen the forms, but I didn't know how to get it in the PDF, so that's great.
yes, to where you could just take, whether you have it on an iPad or whatever, you could just take and fill it out with very easily, so. Martha?
Yes, I was just gonna say, please,
You broke up. I got the please, and that was it. Martha, oh, you're back on mute there is what it is. You're gonna have Larry he's gotta pedal that bicycle faster to keep the electricity going there at the house so
sorry,
that your internet don't cut out.
sorry, I was just asking if you could email me one of those forms, please.
Yeah, what I'll do is when I get that from Sister Donna, what I'll do is I'll just put it in the email, our whole group that we do like that, and that way everybody will have it. That'll be the
Sure,
easiest way to
awesome.
do that. So great.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I'm going to jump back to the emails here to see what other kind of emails we might have. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see here. Patch placement. Let's see. Hello, I'm a new X39, X49. I have a question about placement and effectiveness. If the patches are reflecting light in some way, how do they work and when and then didn't have anything else on his email? Maybe, I'm sorry. Yeah, he does. Okay. If the patches are reflecting light in some way, how do they work when they are placed underneath clothing? I'm using one of my lower abdomen, which is always covered with clothing and one top of the spine, which is usually exposed to light. Now, the person that wrote this, this sister here, and Christy, I guess it's okay to say first name. So your clothing has nothing to do with it because it's reflecting your own infrared, your body emits an infrared light of its own. And what it does is it takes that infrared light and puts it back into your body. Now, one thing I do want to do though, real quick for you guys though, and I'm going to put myself up on the big screen to do this here, is I'm going to take, let's see what else I got back here. Which one can, all right, I'm going to take cornicine off because I've already had it close to 12 hours on anyway. Now, as we look at the patch, you can, if you look at it at that angle there, I think you guys can see it. You guys already know this. There's a membrane of plastic over the organic material, even on the adhesive side that goes against your skin. That's why they say the patch is non-transdermal. All right. So in other words, none of that organic material is going into your body. It's only reflecting the light. But some people, though, have allergy, even though this is a non-allergy, or it's an allergy. I don't know the right word to call that. In other words, David uses the best ingredient in the adhesive so that people that have allergies to adhesives won't have problem with the patch. But inevitably, somebody will still have an issue with it. Now, so what David does say, and this kind of inspired me when I saw the person's question there, is that they were worried about, they're thinking that I guess it's the light from the sun is what makes it activate. And it's not, it's the light from your body. If I stick it on my hand, it's going to take the light from inside of my skin. Basically, the heat our body puts off is an infrared light, and it's going to capture that light and it's going to push it back into the body. And depending on the type of material in that particular patch, it will reflect a wavelength that follows the the pathways within your body. When we say pathways, that's your nervous system pathways. So like, for example, David would tell you on this carnosine patch, besides wearing it on C7, you can wear it right there on your left hand, and it causes an energy flow, which basically follows your nervous system in your body. And wherever it goes to create the carnosine in your body, it does that. And then that carnosine then takes a hold of aluminum, and it detoxes the aluminum from your body. That's why it helps with cognitive function, memory, etc., because the number one killer to the brain is aluminum. And I always liken that to the idea of, an electrical, like inside of your computer, you get all those electrical wires. One little piece of aluminum drops in there on that wire, it's going to short circuit your computer and it's not going to work. That's what's happening in our brains. We've been drinking out of aluminum cans all these years, or whatever kind of aluminum that you've been, exposed to. That is where, especially antiperspirants. A lot of antiperspirants use aluminum. And as that aluminum absorbs through your skin and into your bloodstream, it's going up into your brain, and you're short circuiting those nervous systems in there. Well, when that patch is placed there, the carnosine then is produced in your body. It grabs that aluminum, binds to it, and then it flushes out of your body. I assume that's done through the kidneys or liver or whatever the case may be. Kidneys most likely, because you probably urinate that out eventually. Now, the other thing is, though, let's say that the adhesive causes you a problem. All right. Now, in the case of that spot, you couldn't do it. But let's just say, for example, we know the energy patch can be worn on the wrist, right? You would then, let's say you can't wear it on the wrist, you would then take the patch, you stick it on the inside of your sleeve like that, because it reflects light regardless of which side is facing out. Then you take and you button your sleeve together, because as long as that patch is within 1 inch of your skin, it's going to work. Now, you don't see the patch, but the patch is on the inside of the sleeve. And as long as it's laying against my skin like that, it's working as if it's stuck to your skin, either way. And that's another good thing to know about as well. And so, it's really amazing how that works. And I got to have that rascal back on, because I need to get aluminum out of my head so I know who you guys are later. All right, I'm going to look at a couple of more questions. And if you guys have a question, just jump right in there, and I'm going to see real quick what else we might have over here. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see, I'm going to start my 3rd month of X39 in a few days. I have more energy, but that is all I have noticed. I am 73 years old and have DM type 2. My blood sugars are not good. I know I didn't get in this shape overnight, so I hope it is going to help eventually. Okay. And I assume the DM is diabetes, or maybe they meant to say diabetes type 2. And the answer to that is in the case studies that David Schmidt did, they did it mainly regarding neuropathy, is what they did. And so, but if you look at some of the testimonies, like in the case of Jason, and this is Sister Marcia, God bless you, sister. Jason, his blood sugar dropped, I think, 30% from using X39, but I think he didn't really begin to notice it till after 3 months. So yes, the answer to that question too is it does take a long time for us to get into the shapes that we're into. So you do have to keep in mind that it'll take time to get out of that. But especially when it comes to diabetes, there's so many amazing testimonies about that. But then again, it doesn't mean that you can just go out and start eating Snickers and things like that. We got to use a little bit of wisdom in there. And another thing too that my wife used to always say, because my father-in-law was diabetic, but he never had to take insulin. We were able to control it with diet, and she made him change the oil that his fried food was eaten on, because she said that's what destroys the pancreas is fried foods. And so she made him go to cold pressed coconut oil on any food that was cooked. And normally after about a year, you have an improvement with that. So I would think good diet, stay with that X39. And in this case here, Marcia, at 73 years old, David said a month for every decade of your life. So you want to use this for at least 7 months. And then you should really start to see some amazing benefits from that as well. So let me look again real quick. Let's just see. All right, got one person here, HG, that's tried to log into the Zoom meetings. They may have tried to log in the last Sunday, yeah, Tuesday, yeah. I wasn't able to make either one of those. We had so many issues going on, so I apologize about that, Sister Heather. Hopefully you'll know about this one here. And I will let you know then to just go to YouTube. And you can look up Benoon X39 and find the videos to Zoom there. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to stop on questions for that for now because it is getting kind of late. Does anybody else have any questions though here? And let me, oh goodness, I'm still big on this screen here. I don't want to be that big.
Elizabeth's got her hand up.
Okay, Elizabeth, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, where do the preferred customers go to see their back room or to know whether they've accumulated anything?
Let, let me ask you this, Elizabeth, because I never signed up like that. So, but I know you have. Do you actually, do the preferred customers also get a website to go with their sign up?
I don't really know. I don't really know for sure.
Okay, Eliza is saying yes, they do. Elisa, do you know how they would access that?
I was fixing to say, I thought one of mine was a preferred customer, but she's silver. But
Okay,
from the beginning of someone signing up, even as preferred customer, they're given a number, aren't they?
I would think they get enough. You know what?
Yeah.
Let me see, because I thought that Elizabeth, when you signed up, did it ask you to use like create a website name or anything like that?
When I signed
Yeah.
up, I did have a number, but I didn't know where to go
Okay, I can get that
to do
number for
anything.
you. Hang on, let me go
I
find
don't
that
know.
real
You
quick.
have to, when you're on your website, you have to sign in. Even after you get on your website, you have to go to the sign in. And when you sign in, that's when you put your either brand number or your ID number and then your password. And that takes you to the back office.
Right.
And
I,
I
and I
think,
think I think what her problem is, Elisa, is that she never even knew what the web, that's what she's asking. Does she have some type of a website? She's never been into that. I'm gonna pull up her number, so at least she can have her number. Give me 1 second here to figure out how this works. Um,
because I've got a lot of preferred customers, but I think they can.
right. Let's see here.
Not a lot. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Elizabeth, LIZ. Elizabeth, how do I spell your last name? Duggan?
Yes, Steve.
It's not coming up like that at all. I don't know why. All right, what I'll do is I'll have to find out about that because I don't know how that works. I've never had that before, but I'll find out and I'll get with Jason or Todd and Shannon and ask them how that works. So, because yeah, that I have no clue about. Um, all right, any other questions?
Steve,
Yes, ma'am.
what email address do you want me to send that form on?
That Balloon X39, I don't get swamped over there. That's the easiest one. All right, so let's see, let's see. Okay, so things dropped out already. All right, well, guys, thank y'all all for being here tonight. We'll get this uploaded onto YouTube by in the morning. And Elizabeth, I'll find out that I'll send, as soon as I get off here, I'll send a message to Todd and Shannon and see if they can answer that for me. And also to figure out how to get your customer number because I didn't have you in, I couldn't pull you up by your name. And it may be because you are a preferred customer. I don't know for sure how that works, but I'll find out the answer to that for you and get back with you. So, all right, guys, y'all have a great night. Elizabeth, don't forget to stop your recording before I close it out.